Welcome to Honkai Impact 3rd Rewind, where we will attempt to recap the story of individual chapters within the story of Honkai Impact 3rd. Now, obviously, the story of Honkai Impact 3rd is massive, and that's to be expected because it's been out since 2016. So how long is this gonna take if I tackle one chapter per video? Well, I guess we gotta start somewhere. So in this video, we will focus on chapter 1. Now, while the early chapters of the game are relatively short, there are still several things that are introduced to set the foundation for the entire story going forward. So first, I will recap what happened in chapter 1 without any spoilers, and then after, I will give you some things that you should keep in mind for the future part of the story within this Rewind series. Now, although I will try to keep everything spoiler-free, we first need to address something that I believe can be very important and helpful. The story of this game takes place in 2016, roughly 2.5 years since the third Honkai eruption that took place in 2014 in Nagazora. For now, just consider the Honkai eruption as a cataclysmic event that wants to destroy and reset civilization. And as the title of the game suggests, before the third Honkai eruption or the third Honkai impact, there was a first eruption in Berlin that took place in 1952 and the second eruption of Siberia in the year 2000. Chapter 1 begins with Kiana, our protagonist of the story, a Valkyrie of the Shikso organization, or basically a warrior or soldier who can resist Honkai radiation. She's sent on a mission to Sapphire City to uncover the truth behind the mysterious appearance of an unidentified battleship, which happened to coincide with the spawning of thousands of Honkai beasts, wreaking havoc across the city. But Kiana is a Valkyrie in training, so Major Himeko directs her to meet up with her other members of the party to infiltrate the battleship. And to help Kiana, Major Himeko sends her a transport drone. Now, being rather reckless, Kiana stops the drone with her bare feet, I guess using her ultimate powers, which I thought was pretty hilarious. If you think about it, it actually defies all physics, but regardless, she gets on the drone, fights off the horde of Honkai beasts to reach the battleship. Well, at least that was the plan, because she ends up crashing the drone into the side of a skyscraper, and to Major Himeko's frustration, sends it another drone to help her get to the unidentified battleship. Now, while on the second drone, Kiana encounters an Emperor-class Honkai beast, which are essentially very powerful, which Kiana, of course, has no way of defeating with their current capabilities, but perhaps due to her luck or overconfident nature, she successfully chases it all for the time being. Now, upon arriving to the battleship, Kiana is again directed by Major Himeko to meet with Mei, a fellow member of the operation, and obviously Kiana cannot contain her happiness to meet up with Mei, who obviously has nothing but respect, or we'll call it respect for now. So after completely annihilating Honkai beasts in her way, Kiana swiftly reunites with Mei so they can make their way to the aft of the battleship to secure a breach. But then the Emperor-class Honkai beast from earlier returns and makes quick work of both Kiana and Mei. Out of desperation, Mei unlocks her restriction protocol within her body that seems to have been restraining a certain mysterious power, and by using this power, proceeds to completely destroy the Emperor-class Honkai beast. After saving herself and Kiana from the Honkai beast, Mei is visibly exhausted. Thankfully, Bronya, the third member of this operation, arrives in the nick of time, and in hopes to having Mei rest, Bronya takes charge of the operation and helps the party continue with the mission of breaching the battleship. And with the help of Bronya's impressive hacking skills, the three Valkyries in training eventually make their way into the battleship. But upon arriving inside the battleship, Bronya and the party begins to notice some very strange things. The battleship seems to be completely empty, but no one really operating it, almost as if everything is running autonomously. Bronya also realizes that a lot of designs, features, and machines that are in the battleship closely resembles anti-entropy technology, which is an organization that is in direct conflict with the Shikso that the Valkyries are part of. Regardless of these strange observations, thankfully due to Bronya's prior experience with anti-entropy technology, she hacks into the robots that are stationed within the ship to help them make their way to the bridge easier. But as she was hacking into the robots, she notices yet another strange occurrence within the system, which Bronya brushes off as a minor issue relating to the Honkai energy leakage. And so, utilizing the robots, the party eventually make their way to the bridge. But once they arrive at the bridge, the story ends up taking another weird turn when Bronya learns that this battleship named Selene doesn't have any encryption to access the files. Then she finds a strange message left behind towards Kiana that reads, "Dear Kiana, greetings. We hereby return you the battleship Selene. You shall ascend the throne and rule this world. But before that, you'll need to find 4 keys: lightning of conquest, fire of affliction, storm of desire, and death of tranquility." And the message finally ends with a hint to the password that is required to control the ship, which is basically Kiana's birthday. Now at this point, obviously everybody's confused. They don't know who or what sent this battleship to Kiana. But regardless, Bronya inputs the password to redirect its course of the battleship Selene to St. Freya High School, where the Valkyries are based from. But as Bronya was inputting the commands, her biochip begins to malfunction, caused by a Trojan that Bronya initially brushed off as a minor Honkai energy leak from earlier. She then transforms and ends up freaking out, only to turn on Kiana and Mei. But thankfully, with the combined efforts of Kiana and Mei, they eventually confront Bronya to bring her back to her senses. Not really knowing exactly why all this was happening, the 3 Valkyries finally take the battleship to St. Freya High School for further investigation. Now that's the basic recap of chapter 1, and even though they're pretty short, there are a few important things that you should keep in mind for the future of the story. Consider these points not really an explanation for now, but food for thought for the future, since a lot of things do get explained the further we go into the story. First, the name of the battleship is Moonlight Throne, which later has been localized to the name Selene. This name is actually very important for the future. Second, it's important to realize that rather than the battleship Selene being directly affiliated with the Honkai beasts, there's a possibility that these monsters were flocking around the battleship for a certain reason. Next, the third thing to keep in mind is that the restriction protocol that was inside Mei's body is related to what happened during the 3rd Honkai eruption. The fourth thing is that Bronya losing control of her body due to a Trojan is obviously a plot device that will further complicate things in the future. And finally, the name of the 4 keys, as the game puts it, lightning of conquest, fire of affliction, storm of desire, and death of tranquility are probably the most important things to keep in mind throughout a lot of Honkai Impact 3's main story. So with all that said, there's a good reason why I'm asking you to remember these main points, because in this Rewind series, I'm not only going to recap individual chapters, but I'm going to bring out these points as they unfold through the future of the story, so that hopefully we get a better understanding of the whole story and also find it entertaining while keeping up with all the complicated things that might pop up in the future. So for now, that is all the things that you need to know for chapter 1 of Honkai Impact 3. And if you like this video, make sure to hit the like, subscribe for the future chapters that I'll be doing for this series, and I'll see you next time.